You know that feeling when you do anything to protect your family, but then you also see a total stranger in need and feel this pull to help them? Well, it turns out there's a reason for that. Today, we're diving into the two ancient competing forces hardwired into our brains that explain pretty much all of our social behavior. So what's the deal with us? Are we, at our core, wired to just look out for number one, or are we built for community and cooperation? It's one of the biggest questions you can ask about human nature, and it's what we're tackling right now. To really get it, we can't just look at society today. We've got to go back, way back. The answer is literally written into the survival story of our species. Okay, so let's talk about this blueprint. The whole idea here is that our social instincts, our motivations, even our emotions, they're not random. They were shaped over thousands and thousands of years for one main reason: to help us survive. This is the foundation for everything we're talking about today. It's called evolutionary adaptation, and it basically says that the way we interact with each other today is a direct result of what worked for our ancestors. It's all about the behaviors that helped them stick around. And a key word here is fitness. Now, when we say that, we're not talking about how much you can bench press. In evolutionary terms, fitness is all about one thing: reproductive success. Any trait, physical or behavioral, that helps an organism pass on its genes is considered fit. And all this pressure to be fit has created this incredible dynamic inside each of us. Think of it like a constant tug of war between two very basic and sometimes opposite motivations that guide almost every social move we make. So let's get into force number one. This is the one we all know, the one that feels the most primal. It's the powerful drive to look out for ourselves and the people we care about most. We call this self-concern, and it's our basic survival engine. It's that deep instinct that tells you to protect yourself, to feed your family, and to make sure your inner circle is safe and sound. So what does this look like in the real world? Well, it starts with the obvious stuff: avoiding danger, finding food. But it goes way beyond that. It leads to what we call kin selection. That's why you do anything for your family. You share genes. And it also explains our in-group bias, why we're more likely to help friends, teammates, or anyone we see as being on our team. Now, here's where it gets really fascinating. This drive for self-concern can explain some pretty complex emotions we don't always like to talk about. Take jealousy. You might see it as a negative thing, but from an evolutionary perspective, it could actually be an adaptive trait. Right, so the thinking goes like this. Jealousy isn't just a feeling, it's a motivator. It pushes someone to guard their mate, which way back when might have increased the chances that they were raising their own offspring. It's a prime example of self-concern in action, trying to secure reproductive success. But hold on, that's only half the picture. If we were only driven by self-concern, society would totally fall apart. There's this other, equally powerful force pushing us in a different direction: our fundamental need to connect with other people. And we call this other concern. This is the social glue that holds us all together. It's that deep-down motivation to belong, to cooperate, and to be part of a we, not just a me. And being social is a huge evolutionary advantage. Connecting with others helps us find partners. Working together in groups lets us do things we could never do alone. And things like altruism, just helping someone else, make the entire community stronger, which in turn makes everyone in it safer. So it's kind of a paradox, right? We hear about the selfish gene, but that doesn't mean we're always selfish. Sometimes the most selfish thing a gene can do is to make its host, that's you, do something selfless for the good of the group. Because if the group survives, the genes within it survive. So we've got these two titans inside us, the drive to protect ourselves and the drive to connect with others. But what happens when they go head-to-head? Because that's where things get really, really interesting. And you can see the tension right here. On one side, you've got that me and mine first instinct. But on the other, you have that we're in this together impulse. This negotiation is happening inside our heads all the time, shaping pretty much everything we do. And a lot of the time, they actually work together perfectly. Think about it. When you help someone, it satisfies that other concern, but it also makes you feel good about yourself, which serves your self-concern. It's a total win-win. But what about when it's not a win-win? Let's get real for a second. Imagine you're walking down the street and you see someone threatening another person with a knife. What do? In that split second, what goes through your head? Do you jump in or do you get out of there? And that right there is the ultimate dilemma.
Your other concern is screaming at you to help the victim, but your self-concern is screaming even louder to save your own skin. It's the ultimate clash of our two internal forces.
And understanding that internal battle, that constant push and pull between self and others, is probably the biggest key we have to understanding why people do what they do, from small acts of kindness to incredible acts of heroism.
So that leaves us with a pretty big question. We've all been handed this ancient, complicated blueprint full of competing drives. But the amazing part is, we have a choice. We get to decide how we use it. Knowing the blueprint is one thing. The real question is, what are we going to build?